December 2008. A man sits in his office staring at two companies dying simultaneously. Tesla has 3 weeks of cash left. SpaceX just had its third rocket explode. He's going through a divorce. He's personally bankrupt. Every expert, every investor, every rational person is telling him the same thing. Give up. You tried. It's over. He has one choice to make. Save one company and let the other die. He can't save both. Instead, he does something insane. He splits his last dollars between them, betting everything on two impossible dreams. His name is Elon Musk, and this is the story of a man who nearly lost everything 3 times and won anyway. 1. The kid who read Pretoria, South Africa, 1971. Elon Musk was born into a country torn apart by apartheid. His childhood was complicated. His parents divorced when he was young. He was small, quiet, awkward. The kind of kid who got bullied relentlessly. Once, a group of boys threw him down concrete stairs and beat him so badly he was hospitalized. But Elon had an escape. Books. He read everything. Science fiction, encyclopedias, computer manuals. By age 10, he'd read the entire Encyclopedia Britannica. While other kids played outside, Elon lived in his head, building worlds, imagining futures, dreaming of Mars and rockets and technology that didn't exist yet. At 12, he taught himself to code and sold his first video game for $500. At 17, he left South Africa for Canada, not for opportunity, to escape, to get away from mandatory military service in apartheid's army. He arrived in Canada with almost nothing, worked odd jobs, shoveled grain, cleaned boiler rooms, but he had something more valuable than money: vision. He believed humanity needed to become multi-planetary. He believed electric cars would replace gas. He believed technology could save the world. People thought he was crazy, a dreamer living in fantasy. They had no idea what was coming. 2. First near death, 1995. Elon dropped out of Stanford after 2 days to start his first company, Zip2. It was basically an online city guide with maps. He worked 100-hour weeks, slept in the office, showered at the YMCA. Lived on $1 a day for food. His brother worked with him. They had one computer. When his brother worked during the day, Elon coded at night. In 1999, Compaq bought Zip2 for $307 million. Elon's share, $22 million. Most people would retire, buy a mansion, relax. Elon? He immediately started another company, X.com, which became PayPal. By 2002, eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion. Elon's share, $180 million. At 31 years old, Elon Musk was worth almost $200 million. He could have stopped, invested safely, lived comfortably forever. Instead, he did something nobody expected. He bet it all on 2 impossible dreams: electric cars and rockets to Mars. And that's when the real story begins. 3. Second near death, 2002. Elon founded SpaceX with one goal: make humanity multi-planetary. Everyone told him he was insane. Private rockets, impossible. NASA can't even do it reliably. He didn't care. He invested $100 million of his own money. First rocket launch failed. Exploded 33 seconds after liftoff. Second launch failed, exploded again. Third launch failed, didn't even reach orbit. Each failure cost tens of millions. Elon was burning through his fortune. Meanwhile, Tesla was hemorrhaging money. The first car, the Roadster, was supposed to cost $25,000 to build. It was costing $200,000. Production delays, engineering problems, financial crisis. By 2008, everything collapsed at once. The global economy crashed, investors pulled out, Tesla couldn't raise money, SpaceX had one rocket left and no funding for another. Elon's marriage fell apart. He was going through a brutal divorce. And here's the impossible choice. He had just enough money left to fund one company, Tesla or SpaceX, not both. Everyone told him, save one, let the other die. That's the smart move. 4. The impossible choice. December 23rd, 2008, 3 days before Christmas. Elon was staying at a friend's house because he couldn't afford his own rent. His bank account was nearly empty. He sat there with a calculator, splitting his last dollars between Tesla and SpaceX. It wasn't rational, it wasn't smart. By every logical calculation, both companies would die. But Elon said something that defines his entire philosophy. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. Think about that. Even if the odds are not in your favor. Most people only do things when success is likely, when it's safe, when the risk is manageable. Elon does things because they matter, because they need to exist, because giving up isn't an option when the stakes are humanity's future. He split his last money between both companies, knowing it probably wouldn't be enough, knowing he'd likely lose everything. Then on December 23rd, two miracles happened. SpaceX's fourth rocket launch succeeded, first private company to reach orbit, and NASA called. They were awarding SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract. Tesla closed a financing round on December 24th, Christmas Eve, hours before bankruptcy. Both companies survived, barely. 5, third near death, and beyond. But the story doesn't end there, because Elon did it again. 2018. Production hell with the Model 3. Tesla was building 5,000 cars a week while losing millions daily. Elon slept on the factory floor, didn't go home for weeks, worked 120-hour weeks. People were shorting Tesla stock, betting it would collapse. The media called him crazy. Analysts predicted bankruptcy. Elon tweeted through breakdowns, had public meltdowns, looked genuinely broken, but he didn't quit. Today, Tesla is worth over $800 billion. SpaceX launches more rockets than every country on Earth combined. Starlink provides internet from space. They're actually going to Mars. Elon Musk is the richest person on Earth, worth over $200 billion. But here's what's important. The money isn't the point. It never was. The lesson. So what do we learn from Elon Musk? Here's the truth that most motivational content won't tell you. Elon's story is terrifying. He risked everything, not once, 3 times. He worked himself to physical and mental breakdown multiple times. He destroyed relationships, lost friends, looked crazy to everyone. And here's the scariest part. It almost didn't work. If SpaceX's 4th rocket had failed, there was no 5th. If Tesla hadn't closed funding on Christmas Eve, it was over. He was hours away from losing everything. So this isn't a story about confidence. It's a story about conviction. Confidence says, I believe I'll succeed. Conviction says, this must exist even if I'm not the one who succeeds. Most people need certainty before they act. Elon acts with importance. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. That's not advice for everyone. Most people shouldn't risk everything. Most people shouldn't bet their last dollar on impossible dreams. But someone has to. Someone has to believe in electric cars when everyone drives gas. Someone has to believe in private space travel when governments monopolize it. Someone has to work 120-hour weeks when rational people rest. The question isn't whether you should be like Elon. Most of us shouldn't, can't, won't. The question is, what's important enough to you? What problem matters so much that you'd risk comfort to solve it? What vision is so clear that you'd bet everything to make it real? Because here's what Elon proved. The impossible only stays impossible until someone refuses to accept it. Elon Musk nearly lost everything 3 times. Each time, he doubled down instead of giving up. Each time, people said he was crazy. Each time, he barely survived. But because he refused to quit when the odds weren't in his favor, today, we have electric cars revolutionizing transportation. We have private companies launching astronauts to space. We have internet beaming from satellites. And we have a real plan to make humanity multi-planetary. Not because it was easy, not because success was guaranteed, but because someone believed it was important enough to bet everything 3 times.